In this video, we're going to take a look at the impact that unemployment can have on businesses. But firstly, let's answer the question, what is unemployment? Well, unemployment is when a person of working age wants a job, but they can't get one. The level of employment is the number of people in work, while the level of unemployment is the number of people out of work. Changes in the level of unemployment will obviously have an impact on many businesses, and we will explore each of these impacts. But before we do that, let's first meet this video's main example. This is Nadia Jones. Nadia is 31 years old and she lives in a small town in Norfolk. Unfortunately, she has recently become unemployed after being made redundant when the high street fashion retailer that she worked for closed down after going out of business. Nadia is desperate to find another job. She's been looking online for job opportunities, including posting her digital CV on job boards such as Indeed and Total Jobs, and even on business social media sites like LinkedIn. She's actually printed off hundreds of copies of her CV and has posted them out to every company that she can find within a 20-mile radius of her home. Sadly, Nadia isn't having much luck with her job search. Competition for jobs is fierce in Norfolk, and there are lots of unemployed people chasing the same handful of jobs. It doesn't help that Nadia's academic record isn't particularly brilliant, as she failed her GCSEs when she was at school, and she never decided to retake them. Sadly, compared to many of the other applicants, Nadia's CV looks pretty poor, and she's finding that she's not even landing interviews, as the other candidates are just so much better on paper. To all the teachers out there, show all of these videos without any ads and gain access to our growing library of over 500 teaching worksheets. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? So, how does having so many people just like Nadia being out of work impact a business? Well, when more people are finding themselves out of work, this means that the unemployment level increases. So let's have a look at some of the advantages to businesses of having a higher level of unemployment, meaning more people are in the exact same situation that Nadia finds herself in now. Nadia is pretty desperate for a job. She's really made a huge effort to find work and she hasn't been successful so far. She'd consider basically any type of work and probably would be prepared to take a relatively low-paid job if it meant she had an income coming in. So the more people who find themselves in her situation, the more likely employers are to be able to fill their job vacancies. In fact, they can pick and choose the best candidates. Businesses know that people will be prepared to accept jobs at relatively low rates of pay, so they don't need to increase their wage rates to attract candidates. This could result in cost savings for the business in the long run. They will probably also find that because there are fewer jobs available with other businesses, that staff are less likely to leave to go and work for a competitor once they've actually found a job. Nadia would tell you that if she found a job, she'd try and hang on to it for as long as she could. Again, this would save on the time and the cost involved with recruiting and training new staff to replace people who had left the business. So businesses in areas of high unemployment might also find that they are eligible for grants to get unemployed people back into work, which could be a big incentive for a business to employ somebody just like Nadia. Now, there are of course two sides to every coin, so let's think about the disadvantages to the businesses of having a higher level of unemployment. We've seen that Nadia has had to cut back her spending on everything apart from the essentials. She isn't buying new outfits, she isn't going out with her friends, and she's living off cheap, basic food. This is because Nadia's disposable income has fallen significantly since she was made redundant, and she's finding it hard to make ends meet. The higher the level of unemployment, the more people will find themselves in the same situation. When the overall level of disposable income falls, businesses as a whole will find that their sales fall as well. Less money spent on clothes, entertainment, nice food. And as for paying for a new car or holiday, well, forget it. Lower sales mean less profit, and if customers are spending less, then businesses might not need as many employees, meaning, you've guessed it, more unemployment. It can become a pretty vicious cycle. Businesses might need to rethink their product ranges, to come up with cheaper alternatives, or to change their marketing to focus on the more affordable options, such as the supermarket economy ranges that Nadia is now buying, like Asda Price and Tesco Value. Nadia's only been unemployed for a relatively short period of time, but the longer she's out of work, the more out of touch she'll become, and potentially her skills might actually be out of date. In areas of high unemployment, this can become a real problem for businesses who are looking to recruit new staff, as they might now struggle to find the staff with the skills that they really need, meaning that they have to invest more money into training people to the right standard. Nadia lost her previous job because her old employer, a high street fashion retailer, went out of business. As well as meaning jobs were lost at Nadia's old company, this will have had a massive knock-on effect on all other businesses that are used to supply goods or provide services to this retail business. Again, we have that vicious cycle. This fashion retailer is going out of business, and that may have led to other businesses having to make redundancies or even going out of business themselves. Bring this video and over 100 more to life with fun, interactive games, quizzes and case studies. Why not try the first 25 completely free by visiting BizzWizard.co.uk. But what about if the level of people unemployed falls? What if there are more people actually in work? Well, now let's look at the potential impacts to a business of a fall in unemployment, starting with the advantages. If unemployment falls, then people like Nadia, who have been unemployed, are much more likely to find new jobs. If Nadia finds a new job, she'll probably treat herself to a night out with her friends and a new outfit, as well as even spending a little bit more to buy some nicer food as part of her weekly shop. She won't be alone. There's definitely a link between the level of employment and the level of spending. Keeping it super simple, if you have a job, you probably have some money. If you have some money, you are more likely to spend that money, right? So if more people are in work, then businesses will benefit from higher sales, and they may even need to take on more staff as a result of meeting this new demand. This is particularly relevant for businesses that sell luxury goods or services. Nadia might think about booking a holiday once she's back on her feet, and she won't be the only one if employment rises. So if you sell a luxury product, then this could be very good for your business. Each of the video courses over at BizzWizard.co.uk also includes an interactive business case study that applies the knowledge learned to a real-world scenario. There are over 1,000 multiple-choice questions, each with detailed feedback, which tests students' understanding of the content. Why not visit BizzWizard.co.uk to find out more? However, there will be some disadvantages to a business of a fall in unemployment. If the business needs to employ more people to handle the higher demand, then their wages bill will increase, meaning higher costs. This is because businesses may find themselves competing with one another to attract the best staff, which might actually put pressure on wage rates to increase, again adding more costs to the business. If candidates like Nadia have more choice of jobs, they will be less likely to settle for the first job that comes along, and they will likely expect better pay and better conditions. If Nadia did find another job due to a fall in unemployment, she's likely to keep an eye out for other, better jobs, especially if wage rates are going up. In this situation, people like Nadia are less likely to be loyal to their employers, meaning businesses are likely to see more staff turnover and have to spend time and money advertising and interviewing new staff, and then training them up so that they can start their job. Some businesses may also find it so hard to attract and keep staff that they can't deliver to their potential capacity, meaning that now they're actually missing out on sales and reducing production, and that means a loss of profit and potentially the end of the business. It's pretty simple. If you can't find the staff, you can't run the business. So, as we've seen, increased unemployment doesn't just have consequences for individuals, for me, for you, and for people just like Nadia, but also for businesses too. And although we all know that being unemployed isn't great at all, your focus for the exam should be on the effect of the levels of unemployment on businesses, rather than the impact on the customer themselves. Always remember that the level of unemployment will have a significant impact on your business, and it's important to pay very close attention to all external influences if you hope to really be successful. This has been the BizzWizard. See you in the next video.